Hey everyone, this is Aaron, and today we are here for the Spanish Grand Prix in Catalunya de Barcelona.
I believe this is race number 5. So after this race, it's going to be officially 25% done for the season. And right now, we're going to hop onto my quali lap here. It's number 2. And I honestly did not put up a really good time, a 19.5. I think in practices, I was doing anywhere from 19.2 to a 19.0, and I was hoping with Track Evolution a 18.8 or 18.9 could have been possible, but honestly, there are some corners I couldn't hit very well, like this left that I just took and this middle chicane. Can't seem to carry enough speed through this turn. Unsettles the car a little right there. Hit that apex a little too early, which makes me go wide. And overall the lap's actually going pretty good. I think the lap previous to this one, I struggled in sector 3, which is actually my strongest sector. And so I was actually really disappointed. As you can see, I'm going to brake too early, go out wide here, and then overshoot this turn. So lose 1.5 tenths off that chicane when I could have gained about 2 or 3 tenths more from that. So yeah, disappointing result to say the least, and that's going to put me P11 provisionally. I decided to go for another run, but I kind of balled it. So
Yeah, not feeling really good for this. Being P12, it doesn't leave you very many options. Just to even get solid points, I'm going to have to do at least 6 or 7 overtakes to get 10 points, and yeah, I don't think Spain is a very easy track to overtake on, and the
slipstream is pretty bad around here. So congratulations to Lunation for another pole position, and to Dakberg and Smeej for being the other two that were able to get 18s. Comparable to the split 1, 2, and 3 guys in terms of pace. So here we go. On to the race start here. 5 lights about to go off. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And there we go. AOR Grezio actually jumped the start, so he's definitely going to have a penalty for that. I'm not exactly sure. 10 seconds. So Lambrecht's giving us a big squeeze. Had to pull off, back off a little bit, go to standard, and brake a little early so we don't hit anyone. And it looks like there is a 4 or 5 car collision. Try to stay on the outside to avoid. It looks like Yuri just lost some part of his wing. And it looks like everything's normalizing, except I think that's Maku making collision with Izzy, AR Grezio joining back on the track, and oh my gosh, we just made 4 positions, P8, and off to a really good start. So those 6 positions that we're potentially thinking about having to do throughout the race were just gifted to us. So yeah, P8, we're going to settle in now, right behind Yuri. You got 2 Red Bulls and the Toro Rosso getting caught in another accident. So that's another 3 positions. The work of God right there, because I just went from P12 to P5, and I was so lucky. I misjudged the braking point. Barely did any practice in the rain for this track. Almost lost my wing by crashing into Lambrex, but thank God he managed to turn out of my way. And yeah, it's looking good with P5. It was 7 positions in 1 lap. That's definitely got to be race start of the day, right? So yeah, just gotta make our way through Lambrex and Yuri. And I believe I'm going to stay behind Lambrex for another 2 or 3 laps. These next 2-3 laps is just me getting acclimated with the conditions and just finding the grip. And yeah, we're going to cut forward a lap or 2 behind Lambrex. And as you can see, our lines are getting a little crisper. They're more on point. And as you can see, we break behind Lambrex really nicely, close the gap, and just keeping it very smooth. So I had all the confidence in the world that I could pass Lambrex and Yuri. It was just a matter of time. Just watching them struggle, and they were honestly just slowing me down. As you can see, in most turns I'm just lifting. So as you can see, Lambrex gets some wheel spin there. Maybe he might have been hitting the curb, but I don't know. That gives us a really good run onto this straight, and that's going to be a pretty easy move. Move back in front of him right before the 100-meter board, which is the breaking point, I believe, in the wet. And yeah, you're about to see what type of gap that we're going to pull off Lambrex in about just 1 or 2 turns. I'd say that's almost half a second, if not a second. And according to the scoreboard, that's 1.4 seconds behind Yuri. So cutting forward 2 laps, I did make a mistake or 2 in a few turns, and put me a few seconds, maybe like 2 seconds behind Yuri. So just really still struggling, just adapting, finding which gear to be in. And I found for this long right corner, 4th gear works best, but sometimes 3rd, depending. And Yuri's just made a mistake. That is going to give us a really good opportunity to make a move on him. We're going to break a little early, take the inside. We're expecting Yuri to go on the outside, but instead he tries to do a switchback. I'm not exactly sure why. But yeah, he taps us in the back. It did unsettle the car, but not too much, and I hope I didn't give him wing damage because of that. I don't want anyone to have more damage, and I know Yuri already has wing damage from the beginning of the race. So yeah, that's pretty much a move well done. We're not going to see Yuri or Lambrex anymore this race, because I think Yuri's got to deal with Lambrex and defending him. So we're about to catch Lunation. He was about 5 seconds down the road after passing Yuri, and 2 laps later we're about 3 seconds. So we're about catching him about 1 second a lap. And so I was expecting maybe we can catch him by the time we pit around lap 11 or 12, and possibly try an overcut and undercut. But as you can see, he did go on the grass, and we're about to close the gap to about 2 or 3 tenths or something crazy. We're going to be right on his gearbox, and so maybe we can get a good run out of the last corner and pass him going into turn 1. It's a possibility, but like I said, it's with rain, it's kind of tricky, and I want to take as least amount of risk as possible, because I already have a podium position here. I'm P3, Lunation's P2, and I was catching him P1, so I was getting really, really confident at this point, and maybe catch Smeagol first. I think he's some crazy 10 seconds ahead. That'll be a hard task to do, but yeah, behind Lunation, and we're in rich mix. I think we got the better exit, but staying behind him, there was no slipstream, and he was actually pulling away, so I decided to pull right just to scare him and maybe for him to lock up. But he did go deep. He left me like 1 meter space, but because I broke early, I wasn't there to capitalize. So the thought process here was to stay behind him and put some pressure on him, make a mistake, and hopefully take P2 from him. If not, maybe try an overcut or an undercut, and if that doesn't work, we can stay behind him the entire race. We could do another undercut at the second pit stop. So sadly, I do not get to pass him. I just stay behind him for those laps, and we're going to come into a pit stop, lap 13, end of lap 12. Lunation actually came in end of lap 9, beginning of lap 10 for his pit stop. So we're trying this 2-lap overcut, which doesn't work out too well. As you can see, Lunation passes us, and that's, I'd say, 2.5 seconds down the road, and Maku, out of nowhere, is about half a car lengths in front of us, and he takes turn 1 nicely. So congrats to him for keeping that position, and I have no idea where he came from. So now we're going to go on board and ask Jeff what the status of Maku is.
We think they've got 2 stops remaining. The time last lap
So Jeff has just told us that Maku is on fresh intermediates. So that means he's pretty much P3 right now, and I need to fight Maku for my P3 back. And I swear he was caught up in an incident in lap 1, turn 1 that with Izzy that should have put him 5 positions down. So yeah, really good pace from him. And we're about to watch Maku go through the outside of turn 1, turn 2, and he's pretty much through. He's got the position, and the genius is still in the way of Lunation and I, and just making us go all slow. I mean, fair play to him. He is on the one stop, and his tires have to be at like a 70% wear, and you know he's got to be struggling. And just really unfortunate for us that we got to be stuck behind him. So yeah, we're about to watch Maku race away into the distance, and while we struggle behind the genius. And coming up on this long uphill right into the second DRS straight. Yeah, going to be braking at 110 meters here. And somehow managed to outbrake ourselves into Lunation and lose half our wing, making it yellow on the right side. It's really what we didn't need in this part of this race. Yeah, so with that, not looking very good, and you know, in terms of passing Lunation and taking third from him, or even catching up to Maku. That's just pretty much out the door. And yeah, I mean, having a podium would have been so nice, especially with given on how the past races have gone. I think just, you know, bad luck in some races. And yeah, I was really looking forward to a good result here, but with that, yeah, I'm really not going to get that podium this race. And you know, there's no one to blame for that but myself. I did outbrake myself into Lunation, and I know Lunation did try to apologize in the end of the race, but I told him it's really no big deal. That was 100% my fault, because it really was. I mean, I should have known 2 cars in front of us was going to have a lot of dirty air, and probably should have broke maybe 5 meters earlier just to avoid that lockup. So, yeah. So we're at this point in the race, we're thinking, what can we do in terms of strategy? Because I'm going to have to maybe repair this wing, because if our pace is not good with this broken wing, and if I don't repair it, I'm going to have to defend pretty hard. And I think that's doable if it continues to race the entire race, which it does. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the best defender when it comes to defending. That's probably a part of the racecraft that I need to work on. And we just see Genius maybe tap the back of Lunation and just unsettles the car a bit, and we do get the pass on the Genius. That was that's what we really needed, because it wasn't going to be easy to get past the Genius after Lunation tried for 2 or 3 laps, and to have that just happen, that makes things so much easier for us. So we're gonna see if we can catch up or even keep up with Lunation. And I'm going to just tell you now, we don't. And from this point on, he just starts to pull away. And 4 laps later, I'm gonna ask Jeff what the race is looking like in terms of pace. So yeah, Jeff just told us that we're losing about 1 second a lap to Lunation, which is, yeah, we're never going to see him again in this race, I believe. So here we're going to come in for another wing change, or another pit stop, and a wing change, which is going to delay our pit stop by 5.5 seconds, which is terrible. I thought it'd be a low 8-second pit stop, but yeah, really bad strategy call. As you can see, now I'm in 10th position with Jack Berg about 5 seconds up the road. Not looking good. I mean, I knew I had some pace here, but I don't know if I could close up 5 seconds. But guess what? So cutting in front 5 laps ahead, we're gonna be seeing Dakberg lose the car, get onto the grass, and recover it somehow. And it looks like he was just sliding. I don't know what happened there. He was going so slow, and I did not actually mean to tap him there, and I'm sorry if that pushed him further into the grass. Did not mean to do that. Thought he was actually going to accelerate forward, but instead he was just sliding sideways. So, yeah, that's an easy 8th or 9th position. And cutting in front 2 laps ahead now. We're catching the 3 guys in front of us, which would be the P5, 6, and 7 train. That is Chicane, Koldo, and Grezu. So, yeah, I don't know what the deal with Chicane is. It might either he's on that one stop with the really old tires, or he's got front wing damage. I never confirmed. But all I know is he's got this big train, and you know, honestly, seeing these 3 guys in front of us was giving us a lot of confidence because I had so much pace. I was confident I can make 1 overtake a lap and maybe take 5th from Chicane, and if I can get past fast enough, maybe 4th. But you can't even see 4th on the map. So, you know, that's wishful thinking. So once again, 110 meter board. Did not even mean to make that a move. That, as soon as I broke, or I hit the brakes, I knew I was going to brake straight into the back of Grezu, and I just had to avoid him. And it looked like I went for a move, but honestly was not going for a move, and just locked up, had no control of the car, and obviously I think I took Grezu's wing as well. So yeah, you know, just being as fair as possible, give him the position back. You know, obviously I pushed him off, and that was just the right thing to do. So yeah, both of us with wing damage. I have identical wing damage from hitting Lunation, which was really, really frustrating. I can't believe I did that 2 times this race, and I obviously deserved to just have a bad result after having such a amazing start. So yeah, this is definitely a race to kind of remember and forget at the same time. I haven't decided which. So yeah, we're gonna be following Grezu here. Yeah, lap 32, second to last lap. It's just really only fighting for 7th at this point. I mean, really. And yeah, I don't know what happened there. Like, honestly, I thought that was lag. I was like, I know I barely feather touched him, and on his screen it might have been a huge lag spike, and he just got pushed off. I don't know what happened, but I'm sorry if that was me. And Chicane, I had no idea, just a puncture, I believe, and that's why he's going so slow. And he hits me. I mean, I don't think he did that on purpose, obviously, but yeah, it's kind of hard to control the car with a front puncture. So yeah, not really mad about that. Didn't get taken out. So continuing on, and I believe that's a P6, a pretty easy P6. Yep, Grezu gifting us, and Chicane just having bad luck. So sorry for him. Maybe he can get that 1 stop to work next time, and I will take the points. So yeah, I don't. 6 seconds ahead of us is Koldo, and only 3 laps ago he was stuck behind Chicane, which is amazing. So yeah, if I did manage to get through Grezu and then Chicane cleanly, I possibly could have been fighting Koldo in the last moments of the race for maybe a 5th position or another 4th position. And yeah, but just a lot of mistakes in this race, and I really do hope to get that sorted out for the next race, which will be Canada. So yep, end in P6, and I believe that's actually P7 because I did have a 3-second penalty. And honestly, I'm actually pretty happy about that with all the mistakes I did. So yeah, P7 it is, and here come your podium winners. Enjoy. And yeah, those are your podium winners, and the one to win it all was Speech once again, with Maku in second and Lunation in third. And yeah, once again, Koldo in fourth, the master of 4. And Yuri also with a really good result here. Glad to see him put some points up on the board. Grezu, me, Hayden, Julian, and Chicane for the rest of the point scores. So yeah, that was my race in Spain. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully I can give you a better race next time. And have a good one, guys. Thanks.